Welcome back to stage 2 beginning here. I have had these running for a week. About 3 days in, I did open up the pull it off and check to see if my grit was turned to slurry like the last time. And just like you can see there, it still has actually unworn grit that's still in there. So it's still grinding away. So for some reason, that first batch I did, the grit was gone in 3 days. Maybe just the way these rocks are makes it different. The softer rocks don't grind up the grit so much. But got that. Well, there's still little bits of stuff in there. That's all of that. So we'll get this rinsed down and take a look at what we got going on here. All right, so we're all cleaned out, and I got my ceramics separated. This is what was in the bottom of the container, and I picked the larger pieces out, but it's pretty much just chips and stuff that I don't think I'm going to throw this back in. There's a few little I don't think if it's already that small, it's not going to survive any smaller anyway, and it's just scraps of rocks. So, but you can see here's our quartz that we got from TOMCAT prospecting. It's sent, and it's starting to clear and is rounding down. And then there's that nice piece of amazonite that is looking pretty good. It's polishing up really nice. Again, I wish I almost had that one. I'd cracked it and broke it into a couple of pieces to wear down. But and then there is our larger piece with those that had those red quartz pieces sticking out. It's wearing them down pretty good. They're definitely softer than normal quartz, as opposed to here's our piece from Carolina Gold Girl. And you can see it's wearing down to a pretty good size looking piece, I guess, of quartz that the rock is shedding from in the tumbling. So, and then we've got our neon blue apatite that is, I said, it's just kind of rounding it down and making it a little bit smaller. Not a lot of thing. And then our lynch rocks are doing pretty cool, actually looking very neat. Like I said, that I wasn't sure if that pattern would go all the way through the rock or if it was just a surface. Like I said, these are just rocks out of lynch pay dirt, And then our oyster shells are wearing down very quickly and very smooth. So we'll see what ends up with. Like I said, I imagine these will be mostly gone. But we're gonna go with the next. There's that piece from Carolina Gold Girl as well. I think that was a piece of flint. It's wearing down, but it's still intact, the piece. And let's see, where we're missing the, oh, there it is. And then there's the emerald that we put in that I'd gotten from John R. Prospecting. And you can see it's got a lot of rock in it. It's not, the ones that I just got my emeralds in, and look very different from his. So we're going to add to the tumbler now, because I got my new batch of amethyst in, but they're smaller, half the size or less of the ones that I'd gotten before. But you can see my emeralds are very bright green and look very much like emerald. So there's no confusing those. So we're going to add those in and see there's one nice big piece and the other. So we're going to add those in to the tumbling mix and see what that does. But yeah, they're coming along for just a batch of pretty much plain rocks. We'll check it out. So, all right, we're going to put in the next level grit. Move on. Actually, I got ahead of myself. First, we're going to have to wash these down real good, and then we're going to go overnight with the soap burnish just to get everything washed out. I probably don't need to do that on these because these are pretty rough rocks, shedding a lot of other material with it. But my other ones came out pretty good the first time I ever did this, so I'm going to keep going with the way I did it before and do a 24-hour soap burnish with them in between each grit. So I'm not going to be recording all that. We'll just get it done and we'll show the next stage once they're done. So all right. And you got to, like I said, you want to make sure all this stuff is washed very thoroughly. You don't have any of your previous grit to contaminate the new grit, because just the coarseness difference will cause it to scuff up your stones or leave striations, or mar them up when they and not get a good polish on them. So all right, just wanted to throw that in. Something else I always forget to point out about this tumbler is really cool is it's got, I don't know if you can pick it up in the light here, but it's got 15 segments in it like that are flat, angled, and not round and smooth, so that as the stones tumble, they don't slide. They actually roll and flip off of each other, off of the sides. So there you got a pretty good shot there. But yeah, 15 of those. Some of them have 6, some of them have 8, depends on the tumbler. But yeah, this has 15, so it keeps those things rolling all the time. So part of the reason this stuff acts so quickly is so thorough. So we're all scrubbed out, ready to go. So we are thoroughly washed, basically almost pressure washed. I've blasted these things and scrubbed them down, and I rethought it. We're going to just go ahead and go with the next level grit on these without doing the burnish stage, just because it is still a coarse grit. It's just not as coarse. And then we'll start the burnish stage and the pre-polish when we move up to the smaller, or move down to the smaller grit. So just to, like I said, I don't know that it's really necessary to do it in this. It may be kind of a waste to do it at this stage. When I did the first batch, I didn't want to take any chances with that ocean picture stone. And then we add our ceramics in here to make up the difference. That puts it right about 2/3. And we've got our fine grit. So we'll put in a couple of tablespoons of this. Like I said, I was really surprised that our first grit lasted so long. When like I said, you saw it come out, a lot of it was still usable if you to keep grinding, but it'd been in there for a full week, actually a week and a day. So I don't think we should have to add any more ceramics to it, but it's not quite. Let's just top it off a bit more. There we go. Now we want to have it about the water just a bit over the material like that. That's maybe a 1/4 inch over the material. Wipe down the edge real good and make sure that none of that grit is in there. Wedge it into place, cap it off, and get it rolling again. So, all right, like I said, you always want to make sure that seam's sealed up all the way around the top even, so it'll run on your tumbler square. So, all right, we'll get this back on the machine. All right, we are back on our tumbler. We are going to set it for 7 days. Turn it on. Make sure that we're balanced between our rollers there. Looks like we're running pretty even. Creeping a little bit, but it's not pushing on anything. So all right, well, we're gonna let this one run for 7 days, see how it comes out, and we'll check it next week. So until then, thank you all for watching the tumbling, and we'll go on to see it stage 3.